Hi Cop 1 students, I wanted to make a quick video just to go over some instructions on this week's essay, which is to compare and contrast two short stories. You're analyzing literature. Alright, so here's your prompt. After reading two contemporary short stories, which you've hopefully already done, I gave you 7 to choose from, I believe. Compare and contrast the two stories' literary elements. Theme, voice, symbolism, characterization. Whatever 3 you choose, make sure that you compare what's alike among those stories, among those 3 elements, and that you contrast, or you say what's different about those 3 elements. That should be quite easy within those stories. Just make sure that you're analyzing and you're arguing the whole time, that you're making your point without putting I, me, we, or our in there. No personal pronouns. There are 2 methods you can take to this, to outlining or to organizing this essay. You can take the block method, which includes a traditional intro with a hook, transition sentence to background information, and thesis. And then you'd only have 2 body paragraphs. Body paragraph 1 would be to argue and analyze the similarities among 3 literary elements in both of these stories. That's going to be a big paragraph. And then body paragraph 2 would be to argue and analyze the differences among these 3 literary elements in both of these stories. Again, another sizable paragraph. And then your conclusion. Or this is a more sophisticated approach. You can take the point-by-point method, in which you still have a traditional introduction, but it's broken down into 3 distinct body paragraphs. And in each of those, you argue and analyze similarities and differences within one literary element. So body paragraph 2 would be to argue and analyze similarities and differences between literary element number 2, voice, for example, or tone or theme. And then you would do that for body paragraph 3. So that's the point-by-point method. I think it's a little more sophisticated. You get to break it down into smaller, not ideas so much, just easier to manage paragraphs, because you're arranging your paragraphs according to the literary element, not according to comparisons and how they contrast. Pro tips: avoid the obvious here. I want you to dig deep. I want you to analyze. I want you to surprise the reader with some new insight that you and only you can bring to this essay. It's so easy to say that in the story Dimension, Dory is sad. The character Dory is sad. Well, of course she's sad. Her husband's murdered her 3 children. That's not characterization. Of course her character is sad, but you have to analyze. You have to ask yourself, okay, well, Dory's sad and she's also resolute and she's determined and a little bit stubborn. And how do these things contribute to the story overall? Again, when you're analyzing, you're asking yourself how and why. How and why does the voice in this story, how does it compare to this other voice in this story? And what do those voices do for the stories? How do they contribute? How do they make the stories better? So make sure you're analyzing, make sure you're arguing your points successfully. This essay should be between 500 and 700 words, not including your works cited page. And speaking of works cited, you will include on that last page of your works cited page, that's just the list of your sources. 2 of the stories that you read definitely have to be there. And then you need to go into the library databases, which we looked at a couple weeks ago, and find 2 more sources to kind of bolster your case. Now, those sources can be you can research the authors of these stories. You can research the literary elements that you're looking at. You can research, if you're dealing with historical context and you're writing about hard times, you could research the Great Depression, which is the time period that story's set in, or addiction, or racism, or homelessness, or anything that's related to the stories that you read. However you want to research is up to you, but you need 2 additional sources that'll be part of your grade, in addition to the 2 stories that we read for class. This will be another MLA. See Mla Format Example on Canvas if you forget how to format it. Basically, it has a header, a heading, a title. It's all double-spaced, arranged by paragraphs. and then it has a works cited page. Right here, you'll need to read in the prompt all about your works cited page. When you're done, it should look something like this. It's on a page all by itself. This is called a hanging indent, which means the opposite kind of indentation to a paragraph, right? So the first line is not indented, but every succeeding line of the same source is indented. So it's kind of backwards, I know, but so for each source, you will employ what's called a hanging indent. If you don't know how to do that, go to the help bar in whatever program you're using and search hanging indent, and it will help you format it. Now I included all the stories here that you need. So if you've got 2 already formatted for you, so if you read Lucia Berlin's Here It Is Saturday, you can simply copy and paste this source into your works cited page. Same thing with Miranda July. If you read The Swim Team and analyzed that and argued that story, you can copy and paste this source. But you're going to have to format and include your other 2 sources, whatever those are. If you're not sure how to format those, you can go to what's called a citation generator. So go to Google and look up MLA Citation Generator. Grammarly offers one. I like the one from Scribr. It's free. And you basically pick which type of entry that you're going to include in your works cited. Say it's a magazine article. You enter the URL page. Is it printed? Is it online? You choose online. You type in the article, the name of the magazine, etc. It tells you exactly what to fill in. When you click Cite Source, boom, it's all done for you. So you can just copy and paste that onto your works cited page. And that's it. This draft of this essay, which is all we're going to work on this week, will be due next Monday. So make sure you get that turned in. If you have any questions, email me, kyle.smith@cisco.edu. I'll be glad to help. Thank you.